Welcome back. Be the CEO podcast, Tommy.
Be the CEO. Be the dot CEO. That's where you can find out about being the CEO. I love that handle. It's so cool, man.
Listen, man, we consume a shit ton of content every single week. All of us, all human beings, all business owners, all kids, all adults, all grandparents. But what we want to do here is use some of the content that we found to share some wisdom. Agree with the wisdom, disagree with the wisdom, share our own beliefs, and how it really is relevant to someone who is self employed that's trying to become the CEO of both their work and their home, right? What we want to do is be CEOs of both our lives and our businesses. And most of us just sit in self employment, wearing 1,000 different hats and giving ourselves new jobs to do each and every day. And while we thought we were going to escape that corporate work that we did, all we did is create a brand new prison for ourselves. So that's really the whole purpose for what we do here is sharing a little bit of the content that we found and then seeing how does it apply to you as a self-employed person trying to become a CEO, right, Tom?
Absolutely. And that's what we're here to do is to help you become that CEO by just sharing our thoughts and opinions and sharing our beliefs and talking about the things that we see as enemies to being the CEOs of our own work and life that we are trying to be. And it really is it's an opportunity for us to share some fresh perspective on these things. And that's what we like to do is just give you different perspective.
Great. So let's go here. Ready? I'm going to share a post this week from the one, the only Gary Vaynerchuk. So if you don't know him, wow, that's really crazy. So Gary Vaynerchuk, there he is. Look at that cute little guy. Oh, he's so cute. So I love what Gary says here, and I hate what Gary says here. Why? So here's what he says. If you want it so bad, how are you not doing everything you can? Like it's very, very simple. And I'll read what he says up here. If it's all you want, then act like it, bleed for it, cause a lot of you are talking, but too many of you aren't dying for it. I like that. Like, look at that attitude because here's why I like this. There's a saying that Tom and I have had since the beginning of our, what would you call it? It's not an evolution. It's since the beginning of our time together. Let's just put it that way. And that saying is you're either all in or you're in the way. I can remember for me about a decade ago writing this out. I can remember sitting at the pool table, my father's pool table from when he was 16 years old, and writing out, you're either all in or you're in the way. And when Tom and I came together, that's kind of what it was. It was like, you're either all in or you're in the way.
Mhm.
That's why we were able to retire and we stopped doing all the other nonsense because we're not going to be in the way of our own success. We are all in on doing this. And if you want it so bad, how are you not doing everything you can? That's what Gary is saying here. Like you have to really be all in, or you're just going to be in the fucking way of what you're trying to accomplish. Like this is it. This is the only thing you're doing, nothing else. So, how can you go through and try to say that I'm going to build something if you're only going to do it part time, if you're only going to do it temporarily? Like when you become a parent, that's it. You're all in. Okay. That's it. If you're really going to be a good mother or a good father, you're doing it all the time. You're doing it when you're sick. You're doing it when it's raining out. You're doing it when school starts. You're doing it when the job says you have to work overtime. You're going to do it. And the way that you do that is you figure these things out. You don't have to know how to do everything. You have to be committed in doing these things. And that's something that I can always say that I've been able to do my whole life is when I commit to something, I've decided this is the whole thing that I'm doing and I'm going all the way into it. And nothing's going to get in my way. Absolutely nothing. You know, my son recently had a very bad injury and it seems as if he has no choice that he can't play. Things are going to come up like that in your life. Okay. That unfortunately now you can no longer do this thing. And if something that terrible happens to you or your business or what you're trying to accomplish, then yeah, at that point you can stop. But man, if my son isn't trying to do everything possible so he can go back and play, right? That's what it means. If you want it so bad, how are you not doing everything you can? And then what Gary says is bleed for it. Because a lot of you are talking, but too many of you aren't willing to die for it. That's the thing. Like, are you interested in this? Or are you committed to, I'm going to go all the way into this. I'm going to achieve everything I possibly can, and I'm going to give it my all. And here's why I believe in this so much. I can't stand what if. Well, what if I only did these things? And what if I only did that? I want to know, and this probably comes from my time in high school, really super committed to sports. I want to know that I left everything out there on the field and that I can't question the effort I gave to something because I have in my time gone through and kind of half assed something. And then it just eats away at me inside. Like, what if I only did this? What if I only did that? I mean, I used to, even in my career in banking, I used to pay such attention to the details because I did not want to mess anything up. And I gave it so much extra effort because I did not want to send something out to a prospect and then be like, these people are so unprofessional. And it wasn't a judgment on the company I worked for, it was a judgment on me. And that's the way I look at these things. It's who is going to judge me? And there's only one judge I really care about outside of God and my family. It's me. I care about me. Like, am I going to judge this, put my head down at night and be able to sleep okay? And I can tell you that yes, the majority of my life, I can say yes to that. And the things that I was not able to say yes to that, usually within a day, a week, a month, I had to say no to that forever. And if you're going to run a business, if you're going to be self employed, don't wait to say no forever. If you're not really committed to this thing, it's okay. Go get a job. It's okay. Let somebody else run the show and you just work behind the scenes. But don't pretend to do this each and every day.
You know, that was very powerful, that whole thing, because a lot of people mistake having to do everything, meaning to make that happen and the commitment to it, they think that they have to do that all by themselves, right? And part of going in and doing everything is getting the help that you need to be able to do it all. And a lot of people miss that, especially self-employed people, because they think they have to do everything, right? There's everything to make it happen, but then there's everything that you can do to make it happen. That's the thing. It's a double meaning.
It's tough, man. I mean, look, I could not even imagine, never mind, actually, I could not even imagine running this business without you, Tom. There's so many things that you bring to this table that either I don't want to do or I'm pretty poor at doing. And it doesn't mean I couldn't do those things, right? But the difference is we both want this so bad. And the
Yes.
crazy part about this is what we actually want so bad has nothing to do with revenue, nothing to do with brand recognition,
Mm,
nothing to do with building a business. It has everything to do with like those people that do put their trust in us. Like, are we giving them our all? Can they have the success in both their life and their business that we know we can give them? And that's what it comes down to is, are you doing everything you can? And for me and Tom, it's for you, for them, for those clients. And if you're in a business where you kind of don't care, I don't know if you're in a business or you just have a revenue generation machine.
mhm.
We were with somebody at dinner the other night that is very heavy into real estate. That this guy cares so much. Like, he cares so much. And you're like, how the hell could you care about real estate? He really, really, really does. And that's the thing. If you're interested in something, it's going to be hard to be committed to it, right? It's going to be hard to care
Or
about it. As our shirt says, as the shirt Tom's wearing right there, commitment, effort, obsession. It's hard. It's hard to be committed if you're not obsessed. And that's what it means by giving everything. You're obsessed with this thing. And for me, obsession is like when I wake up first thing in the morning, that's the only thing I want to do. That's what I'm obsessed about today. Maybe tomorrow I'm obsessed about something different, but that's what I'm obsessed about. Oh man. I can go on forever about this one, Tom. What do you have to share this week?
this it ties into the post that I'm gonna share that Tony Robbins had posted, and let me just pull it up on the screen. Alright, so this post by Tony Robbins, "Clarity creates power." Clarity creates power. And he says, "Our lives are shaped by two invisible forces, our values and our beliefs. Your values determine what matters most to you, what you pursue, what you protect, and where you spend your time and energy. Your beliefs act as the filter. They decide whether you see opportunity or limitation, whether you take the leap or hold yourself back. And here's the key that really hit me. Most people never stop to examine either. They live by default, not by design. But when you consciously choose your values and align them with the empowering beliefs, you create momentum that changes everything. And I just feel like that is such a powerful, powerful statement because we talk about the enemy being un unexplored or unexamined beliefs and blind spots in our lives. A lot of times when we don't examine what we believe and we're trying to figure out why we're so frustrated, it's typically because we are no longer aligned with our values and the values of what we're doing and who we're with or who we're working with or what we're doing. We totally misalign ourselves when we don't examine our belief systems because our beliefs change. And I always say this, beliefs dictate what our values are, and our values dictate what our behaviors are. And a lot of time, we just don't know what to do. We don't know how to behave. We don't know how to do the thing because we haven't examined the belief that's creating the value that's really dictating the behavior. And when we don't examine our beliefs, when we don't give ourselves that chance, we don't really know what to do. We don't know where our values lie. We don't know what we're gonna do next, and we don't know how to behave when it comes to those things. And a lot of people, like Tony is saying, they don't sit there and examine this. And this is what's so important to Adam and I, and why when we meet with clients, the 3rd meeting that we have with most clients is where are your beliefs at? Where are your values at? Because there's such contradiction when you live by default and not by design, like he says there. When we live by default, we're just accepting things from our childhood, from our young adulthood that we just believe because other people believed it or imposed it on us or whatever they did to encourage us to think that way. We just take it and we don't question it. And, thinking about it, the death of Charlie Kirk made everybody question their beliefs. He was so ingrained in his beliefs, and he understood what he believed, and he demonstrated what he valued, but he challenged people in their beliefs, and that's why he was seen sometimes as so antagonistic, is because he challenged people to what they were believing. What did they really believe about things? And when people and most of the people you see in the debates that he's had, they never questioned their belief before. They were just going by default and not by design, and this is where we have to choose what we believe. We Beliefs are a choice. You can believe to do one thing, or you can believe to do something else, and then that belief will determine what you value. So if you don't know what you believe, you can't determine what you value, and if you can't determine what you value, what kind of life are you gonna live? How are you gonna behave to support all of that? So I just feel like a lot of self-employed people, when you decide to give yourself a job, run a business, however you see it, you have to understand what you value. So if you don't examine what you believe, you can't move forward in developing your entire business because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what's important to you. You lose why you're doing this. You don't get a chance to express yourself the way that you may want to because you never re-examined it. So the challenge here is examine your beliefs because they will dictate what you value and then they'll teach you what you behave, how to behave.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he's saying that, clarity creates power, right? And where he's basically saying that you're shaped by your values and your beliefs, and that is wonderful. And I don't disagree with it. But the thing is like if clarity is going to create power, and then you figure out you're very clear, you have a clarity on this is my belief and this is my value.
Mhm.
If you don't have certainty and then how to make decisions after that, it's useless, right? And that's the thing is like you can know what you value and you can know what you believe. But if you don't have a certainty of I'm going to now make this decision based on my beliefs, based on my values, and that's where I think a lot of people waver. Like they believe in something and they value something, and then they don't have certainty in how to make a decision. And what I usually find in a lot of people's procrastination and a lot of their stuck to itiveness is that they're not aligning to that value and that belief because they're not certain on why they're going to make this decision. They haven't connected all those dots together because I've seen a lot of people that have clarity and do nothing. They do nothing with it. Right. And it's like you have to have the agency to be able to now take those values, take those beliefs, make the decisions, take the actions because you're very certain in why you're doing them, not what the outcome is going to be, but you're certain in why you're doing them. And that's what life is about. That's what business is about. It's about you taking risks based on clarity, based on certainty, based on agency. And if you don't have all of those things, you just have one of those things, you're not going to go very far. And if you do go very far, you're not going to do it for very long. And what you have to be able to do in business and in life is have consistent and sustainable growth. You can't just have a big win and then give up the next 3 quarters. You have to have consistent and sustainable growth over and over and over again. And that comes from purpose, and purpose comes from beliefs, and beliefs and values come from having this certainty in it. It's all connected. This is what Tom and I do. This is the beauty and the power that we give our clients is giving them the ability to finally have that agency and then connect it to the certainty. So action is all that's left in front of them. All right, man, I went a little crazy today.
No, you didn't. It was all good.
Feel passionate and pumped up. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm honestly sick of it. I'm sick of people bitching and moaning and complaining and doing nothing about it. Like, do something about it. Try something, man. I'd rather you fall flat on your face than bitching about it. Like, let's go.
Take your energy and put it into solutions, not into the creating the problems or making the problems worse.
There's so many people that need so much help. And Tom and I have found a variety of ways to help people. Yes, we want you to pay us and be clients of ours, but we do have some other ways that we're willing to give back our time to those who need it most. And along that journey, if we find out that we're a good fit for one another, then sure, we can worry about working more together. We do that 2 different ways. We do that where we have these group sessions that we set up, more like networking, and we hold those every once in a while. There's ways that you can register for those. So go to Be the CEO. That's be the.ceo, and you can register for the next free event there. Or what we do one-on-one is something called a next move session. And really what this is we use a protocol that are 3 Qs, 3 questions that we ask you, what's going right, what's going wrong, and what do you need help with? The whole purpose of having this is so we can learn a little bit more about you, celebrate what's going right, figure out what's going wrong, and you can walk away understanding what your next move is to be unstuck. That's really what the next move session is all about. So if you want to take advantage of that, we have limited seats to both. Just go to be the.ceo and you'll find ways to go about registering. See you.